Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I'm going to be taking a look at 2021 by the numbers. This is going to be a very difficult video. I am going to be talking about money. It is going to get worse before it gets better. The two cautionary things I want to say: number one, if this is distasteful to you, whether culturally, by your belief system, how you were raised, if this is not something you enjoy, people talking about money, it just doesn't sit well with you, please exit out of this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. The second thing I want to say, it is not missed on me that this comes from a place of privilege. Every day, my husband and I tell each other how grateful we are, how lucky we are, and just how privileged we are, because that's what it is. And when you see the grand total, you will understand. If the pandemic hit you particularly hard and you're not in a headspace to hear a overprivileged 41-year-old woman talk about how she overpurchased sketchbooks, I understand. Please exit out of this video. I will talk to you tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you are still here, I would highly recommend you sit down. I'm not going to gloss over any of this. I understand the gravity of the situation. Every video I make towards my no-buy is a form of me holding myself accountable. That's just what this is. This is not an easy video to make, but it is a necessary one. So to learn this lesson, I must put in the work. This is the work. So let's get into this. The first video I kind of made in this series officially was the why video. And I posted that October 9th. And I said in that video that I probably spent $500 on art supplies total, of which $200 was probably watercolors. That is a gross miscalculation. I must learn this lesson so I can move on and be a better creator and just be better all the way around. We're gonna start small. It's gonna get bad really, really quickly. There is no way to make this easy. There is no way to be gentle on myself in terms of this. I need to learn this lesson. This is for me. I hope you get value out of it. This is a lot. In 2021, I purchased from 20 places. The most expensive item I purchased was a set of 36 Faber-Castell Polychromos colored pencils. I spent $56.99. I consider this one item. The total number of items I purchased this year is 169. This is not going to get comfortable. I purchased 6 books. 2 were reference, 4 were for inspiration. I spent $67.70. I supported 4 artists, 4 creators, and in doing so, I spent $108.12. I wish it could be more, but again, I am in a mess. I am going to get myself out of it. Now, I purchased packaging for Etsy, for selling things on my shop. I figure it's at least a 5+ years worth. The price I spent was $116.36. The numbers are getting bigger. I purchased 3 planners. Again, this has to be something that lasts 5+ years, so it only equals about $27 a year. Otherwise, this doesn't make sense. I spent $139.06. Watercolors. Remember what I mentioned? $200? I miscalculated. And it wasn't a small miscalculation. I spent $314.24. This is all painting supplies. I'm calling it watercolors. This is why this video is so important. It took me 3 hours to get this together, 1 hour to sit in shock afterwards, and another hour to accept it and know that I have to learn from it. Ugh, this is the biggest category and the most spent in this category. We know this is my biggest temptation, my biggest problem, and I make poor choices. We know that I have 25 available sketchbooks because of my inventory video, but I believe I purchased about 30. I spent, and remember, I said I thought my total was $500. On sketchbooks, I spent $707.29. I do not know how much money I'm spending. That is what this tells me. I am not paying attention to what I am buying. And again, I do understand and recognize this is from a place of privilege. And I also recognize that this needs to stop, and I'm never doing this again. No, this was not thoughtful. I'm going to count down the top 5 places that I purchased from. Get ready. Lectern, because they discontinued a bunch of sketchbooks, and this is my number 1 temptation. I spent $130.79. Number 4, Cheap Joe's. This is predominantly watercolors. I'm just telling you what it is. It doesn't justify the cost. I spent $227.69. Number 3 was Blick. I did this over a course of 3 purchases, and this was $257.08. Are you uncomfortable yet? It's going to get worse. Etsy. And this was the most spent for the least amount of items received. I spent $280.67. While I want to support everyone everywhere from no matter where they are located, that may not be feasible for budgeting, for being mindful of my purchases, for setting an example, for being gentle to the environment, and considering what's actually being trucked into where I live. I want to purchase things from England and the UK, from Hong Kong, from Istanbul, Turkey, but I need to do the converters for shipping, for purchasing. That wasn't a smart choice for me. And you are going to see how bad this actually is. The number 1 place I purchased from was Amazon. Again, this is not ideal, but where we live, we don't have a lot of options. We just don't. So how much did I spend on art supplies in 2021 from Amazon? $1,077.95. How did I do this? I looked, and every time I made a purchase, whether it was from homeschool or a pantry or a toiletries, with every purchase of home goods, I threw in 2 or 3 what I thought were small art supply items. And this is how this added up. To say it got away from me it's laughable at this point. I haven't even gotten to the total. I haven't put this into context. The grand total of what I spent this year and why I'm doing a no-buy is $2,626.71. If that offends you, I understand. I am also offended by this number, and I have no one to blame but myself. This was a very expensive lesson to learn, and I learned that I can't do purchases over the course of a year. I can't purchase for the month ahead. I cannot do that. I do not do that mindfully. I do not do that carefully. I do not reflect. I impulse purchase, whether out of boredom or seeking small amounts of joy or what have you. That's not something I am capable of doing. I have to stick to my end goal, which is 1 purchase once a year, 1 day, maybe from multiple locations within a half an hour time span, from a list that is needs and not wants. Because I can tell you that not every single thing I purchased is something I needed. Absolutely not. And there are even a couple items in there I don't think I'm going to be able to use, and I have to pass on elsewhere because I'm not going to waste. That's not a thing that's going to happen. There's no waste. So I want to put this into context, and this is going to be a bit rough as well. So for charitable donations, how much did we give? And we gave to 3 different places, and that totaled $246.14. My priorities are skewed. Those numbers should be flipped. Absolutely. Well, one, I shouldn't have spent that amount, but you know what I'm saying. So for 2022, it's going to be 0. That's it. And for charity, as best as I can configure, it'll probably be about $230, and that is only from 2 places. So, do I have a shopping issue? That's a rough one. I know in a couple weeks I'm going to do a 2021 video by the numbers that is my creations. I know that I have done over 300 illustrations this year, and I know at least 90 of those are watercolors, and that is the bare minimum of that number. While that justifies probably a $500 expenditure price tag, it does not justify $2,626.71. It doesn't. That is why I'm doing this video. That is why I'm holding myself accountable. This was a lot. This took hours. I am not okay with it. I miscalculated. I need to learn this lesson, and I need to never repeat it. I need to be mindful of my purchases and make sure that I am making better ones, smarter ones. I wouldn't be surprised that if in 2023 I start binding my own sketchbooks. I hope this helped. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.